The ayes have it, and the nomination is hereby reported favorably to the full Senate. I want to thank everyone, and the clerk will see to reporting the nominations to the full Senate. Are there any senators who wish to make a statement?
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Menendez.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity. Each year, the American people take over 10.5 billion transit trips. Those riders deserve to know that the United States Department of Transportation will judge transit investments fairly based on a project's contribution to safety, mobility, and accessibility. But that hasn't been the case for the Gateway project, which is the 2 new Trans-Hudson tunnels and the Portal Bridge, century-old tunnels and bridges that are critical to the entire Northeast corridor. The Department of Transportation has created roadblock after roadblock, leaving a region that contributes 20% of the nation's entire gross domestic product hanging in the balance of their political gamesmanship. Unfortunately, Congresswoman Drake's answers to my questions were insufficient to convince me that her confirmation would help level the playing field. While it was clear that she personally believed Gateway to be, quote, nationally important, to quote her own words in our private meeting with my staff, it was equally clear that she was instructed not to acknowledge that reality in public when I asked her questions here before the committee, lest it undermine the Trump administration's political opposition to the project. She was further unable to provide clear answers on what benchmarks Gateway would need to meet to gain DOT's approval, which raises concerns that DOT will once again move the goalposts on the bipartisan stakeholders working so hard to get this project done. I asked her, could she establish that for any project? And she wouldn't. I asked her whether she would ultimately make a commitment not to accept political interference in any decisions. And before this committee, she would not answer that affirmatively. It's pretty amazing. Making the decisions on what tunnels get repaired or which bridges can be replaced through a political lens is a recipe for disaster, and it should be a concern to everyone on this committee. So while I appreciate Congresswoman Drake's service in the House and the Commonwealth of Virginia, I can't vote for her nomination until she and the Department of Transportation show better faith in working with us to move Gateway forward. And that's why I voted no, Mr. Chairman. I hope that we are not down the path of making political decisions on critical infrastructure for the country. We're talking about nearly $3 trillion that the Northeast region creates for the entire United States of America. When political decisions dictate what our infrastructure projects are at, then we are down a path that I don't think anybody wants to follow. So that's sometimes why I just want to state for the record, having comments made after a vote does not allow other members to be informed as to why, in fact, someone might strongly oppose a nominee. And I would ask the chair and the ranking to consider that in the future. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.